Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on Mega Goal 3.1. Today, we'll be exploring Unit 6, which is all about the gender divide, with a special focus on writing. We'll briefly look at the key issues surrounding gender differences and how they relate to writing skills. I'm looking forward to sharing some insights and having a meaningful discussion with all of you. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at Slide 2. Here, we focus on the process of writing a comparative essay. The first step is to organize your ideas effectively, which helps in presenting a clear and logical argument. Next, it's important to identify the characteristics of a good comparative essay, so you know what to include and how to structure your work. As you read your sources, make sure to find specific information correctly. This ensures accuracy and supports your points. When analyzing communication, we look at both verbal and nonverbal forms, understanding how they differ and relate. Distinguishing the characteristics of nonverbal communication is crucial, because it often conveys emotions and attitudes that words might not express. Finally, you'll be asked to state an essay about communication features, comparing men and women from different cultures. This exercise helps you apply what you've learned and develop your analytical skills. Remember, all these steps are aimed at helping you craft a well-organized, insightful comparative essay. On this slide, we're focusing on the concept of scanning, which is a crucial part of effective communication. You'll notice there are 6 paragraphs here, each contributing to our understanding of how we interpret messages. The title of the text is simply Scanning, and it emphasizes how we process information, both verbally and nonverbally. Now, let's delve into the core ideas. First, scanning involves quickly but attentively observing and interpreting the cues around us. Whether it's a spoken word or a nonverbal gesture, we're constantly gathering data to understand the full message. Next, verbal communication includes spoken words, tone of voice, and the choice of language, all of which give us vital clues about intent and emotion. Nonverbal communication, on the other hand, encompasses body language, facial expressions, gestures, and even posture. These cues often reveal more than words can, sometimes even contradicting spoken messages, which is why awareness is so important. As we move through the paragraphs, you'll see that the numbers 6 down to 1 and 5 down to 1 likely represent different levels or stages of scanning, or perhaps points of focus. The key takeaway is that effective communication isn't just about what is said, but also about how we observe and interpret what isn't explicitly spoken. In the context of our overall theme, understanding scanning enhances our ability to connect with others, respond appropriately, and avoid misunderstandings. It reminds us to stay attentive, open-minded, and perceptive during every interaction. So, in essence, mastering the art of scanning, being aware of both verbal and nonverbal cues, enables us to communicate more effectively and empathetically in all settings. Now, let's take a closer look at the supporting paragraphs, specifically paragraphs 2 through 6. These sections really build on our main argument, adding depth and context to our thesis statement. As we go through them, I want you to notice how each paragraph contributes to reinforcing the overall message. They delve into key aspects like the importance of understanding the core principles, the challenges faced, and the potential solutions. These points are crucial because they help us see the bigger picture and understand how everything connects. By examining these supporting ideas thoroughly, we can better appreciate the significance of our main theme and how it applies to real-world scenarios. So, as you listen, think about how these paragraphs support and expand on the central idea we've been discussing. Now, moving on to our argument statement. What I want to emphasize here is the importance of describing rather than just looking at a photograph of the town center. It's one thing to see an image, but it's quite another to really describe what you're seeing, the details, the atmosphere, the context. When we describe, we engage more deeply, helping others visualize and understand the space in a more meaningful way. This approach allows us to connect on a more personal level and paint a clearer picture of the environment. Remember, the goal is to bring the scene to life through words, not just to show a static image. This distinction is key as we explore how description enhances our overall understanding of the town's character and significance. Alright, so on this slide, we're focusing on the argument statement. This is where we clarify the main point or the core message we're trying to get across. In this case, the argument is about showing or telling a friend about a new gadget. Essentially, it's how we communicate excitement or information, whether through demonstration or conversation. When I think about this, I realize it highlights the importance of understanding different ways to share ideas. Whether I choose to show someone a gadget in action or simply tell them about its features, both methods serve to engage and inform. This ties into our overall theme of effective communication, knowing your audience and choosing the best way to connect. So, the key takeaway here is that the method of sharing can really influence how well your message is received. Let's talk about situations where verbal language is really essential. For example, when you run into someone you haven't seen in a long time, a simple hello or a quick chat can be much more effective than any nonverbal cue. Verbal communication helps us express feelings, share updates, or clarify intentions clearly. These moments highlight why spoken words are irreplaceable in certain contexts. It's about connection and understanding, which often require the nuance and immediacy that only verbal language can provide. Recognizing these situations reminds us that even in a world full of gestures and expressions, words still hold a vital place. Alright, so on this slide, we're looking at a specific argument statement. The main idea here is about the challenge of having to communicate with someone from a distance, like at the airport, in order to get their phone number. This situation highlights how sometimes, even simple tasks like exchanging contact information can become complicated when we're physically apart or in busy environments. It's a good example of how communication barriers can arise unexpectedly, and it ties into our overall theme of how effective communication plays a crucial role in our daily interactions. Recognizing these small but significant moments helps us understand the importance of clear, efficient communication strategies. Now, let's take a closer look at the arguments behind the importance of nonverbal communication. According to studies, about 60% of our communication is carried out through nonverbal means. That's a significant portion, isn't it? It highlights just how much we express without even speaking. This includes body language, facial expressions, gestures, posture, and even eye contact. These cues can often convey more meaning than words themselves. Understanding this fact is crucial because it underscores the importance of being aware of our nonverbal signals, especially in professional settings or when trying to connect with others. So, when we analyze effective communication, we see that mastering nonverbal cues can greatly enhance our message's clarity and impact. It's a powerful reminder that what we don't say often speaks just as loudly, if not louder, than our words. Let's talk about the importance of balance. Sometimes, it's best not to rely on technology all the time. Spending quality time with family and friends is really valuable. For example, Jennifer and Sarah both use social media because it's easier and faster to stay connected. With social media, you can communicate with anyone, anytime, and anywhere, which is really convenient. But it's also important to remember that face-to-face communication is a traditional way of connecting that helps strengthen relationships. Meeting people in person allows for more genuine interaction and understanding. While social media is useful, maintaining face-to-face relationships keeps our connections strong and meaningful. So the key message here is to find a healthy balance. Use technology to stay connected, but also make time for those personal, face-to-face moments that truly build and sustain our relationships. Now, let's walk through the key steps to writing a strong comparative or contrastive essay. First, you want to start by clearly identifying the two subjects you're comparing. This helps set the stage for your analysis. Next, plan your essay's structure carefully. Decide whether you'll compare point by point or discuss each subject separately before drawing conclusions. As you develop your essay, remember to focus on highlighting both similarities and differences, but do so in a way that supports your overall argument or purpose. It's also important to use clear, logical transitions so your reader can follow your reasoning easily. Finally, always connect your comparisons back to your main theme or thesis to maintain coherence and relevance throughout your writing. Following these steps will help you craft a well-organized and insightful comparative essay. Let's take a moment to review the key points from the earlier slides, starting with slide 6 and working backwards to slide 1. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize the importance of practicing these concepts regularly. Remember, this is all about reinforcing your understanding and improving your skills. Now, for your homework, please turn to page 286 in your workbook and complete exercise L. Doing this will help solidify what we've covered today and give you a chance to apply the concepts in a practical way. Keep in mind, consistent practice is essential for mastery. So, I encourage you to set aside some time to work through the exercise carefully. That's it for today's session. Make sure to review your workbook and stay engaged with the material. Thanks for your attention, and I look forward to seeing your progress next time.